DJ, please pick up your phone. I'm on the request line. Hello everyone, it's Jay, and today I want to talk about Timbaland and why he is one of the best producers to come out of the 2000s. Now, this won't be a detailed breakdown of Timbaland's career, but more so a showcase of how successful he is and why I look up to him in my musical career. So if you happen to like my content, make sure to like, share, or subscribe. Also, make sure to leave a comment down below on what you think about Timbaland. Timbaland, or Timothy Mosley, started his musical career in the mid to late 80s as a DJ known as DJ Timmy Tim in Virginia. Now, what's crazy about his story and how he became a successful DJ in the musical industry was that while working at a restaurant at a very young age, one of his coworkers was flashing a gun around and it accidentally shot off and shot Timbaland in the neck. This in return left him paralyzed for a few months on one side of his body. Now, while all that was happening, he was DJing for a lot of people at the time, so he then had to learn how to DJ on the other side of his body, which in return really did pay off towards his career.
In the 90s, a super producer emerged with a slew of hits that changed the course of hip-hop and R&B.
But that doesn't mean that he wasn't traumatized by the event. He spoke up about the shooting 25 years later and stated that he was in numerous amounts of pain for years on end and that the bullet is still inside of him somewhere. From that crazy event, he never gave up on music, and people soon realized how much talent he really had while DJing, and people started to go to him for producing music. Fast forward to the early 90s, when Timbaland would go on to produce for some R&B artists. One that everyone mentions was Missy Elliott's R&B group Sista, and man, they freaking get it. But his breakthrough smash hit artist that he was producing for at the time would be the famous Aaliyah. Rest in peace. That girl had some serious freaking soul and really did change the music industry just like he did. Timbaland was making a name for himself in the industry and would go on to produce another really good hit, Pony. This in return opened the eyes of some already known artists like Justin Timberlake for his solo career, or Missy Elliott and her solo career, or even Jay-Z. What's unique about Timbaland and his production skill is that if you go back and listen to his produced tracks, they all sound like something that could literally drop today and make the Billboard. They literally all have a futuristic sound that is being used in the music industry to this day, and I look up to Timbaland because that takes a lot of dedication and work to make that happen. A lot of music sounds dated and it sounds like it's stuck in his time period, while his music sounds like it could literally drop today and it would be #1. Moving on to the 2000s, you literally could not get away from Timbaland and music in general. He was producing for so many amazing artists of that time period, and each of those artists had so many hits, and that was thanks to him and his ingenuity. Artists that I can think of that he made famous whenever I was a kid are Missy Elliott and the identity that dance is everything. A prime example of this would be Let It Bump, or I'm Really Hot. He would go on to create Justin Timberlake's look, which is R&B with some dancing soul. Even though Justin Timberlake already had some publicity, Timbaland would help raise the bar to that and create a whole new look for Justin Timberlake. Examples of this would be Sexy Back. I even left a comment on that video of how crazy the production was of the time, because if you drop that song now, it would still be a hot song. Or even Cry Me a River. Those songs, if you listen to them now, they literally sound like something that could be played on the radio to this day and not get old. And that's thanks to Timbaland. Nelly Furtado was a childhood crush of mine, and one song that still sounds fresh AF is Promiscuous. Timbaland also had a solo career in the middle of creating all these amazing artists. Each song that he made for himself was a certified banger as well. The main one that I can think of off the top of my head that played on the radio constantly was The Way I Are. There's so many artists that I could talk about all day long that Timbaland gave an identity to, but like I said in the beginning of this video, this won't be a detailed breakdown video of that. This video is more so to showcase how amazing he is to me in general and how amazing of a producer he was in the 2000s. To this day, Timbaland is still in the music game, and he's also hosting a show called Versus, which a lot of people have heard of. And if you haven't seen the most recent episode of 3-6 Mafia and Bone Thugs and Harmony getting at it, throwing mics at each other, then you're missing out. Obviously, it was probably for some publicity, but it was still a good show to watch. Timbaland is one of the best producers ever and is up there with Dr. Dre. He is also a very underrated songwriter for a lot of amazing artists. I look up to him in my musical career, and he is forever one of my favorite music producers, and that's because music is everything in my world. I always find myself going back to his tracks that he produced and just listening to them for hours on end. And speaking of my musical career, I will leave a link in the description below of my latest Spotify release, and I really hope that you check it out and listen to it for yourself. Timbaland's ambition for music is something that I don't take for granted, and it definitely inspires me to do more with my musical stuff. This will be the end of my video. If you happen to like my content, like I said in the beginning, make sure to like, share, or subscribe. Leave a comment down below on what you think about Timbaland, and I love y'all for watching. I've really been wanting to make this video for such a long time, even though it is very short, but he is somebody that has inspired me a lot. That will be the end of my video. I'm out.